We get narration describing the classic vampire, Dracula, stalking humans, high-collared cape, the works. But then, the final panel zooms in on Stas' bored, almost annoyed face as he deadpans, "Yeah, that's me." This instantly establishes him as a descendant of this lineage but completely uninterested in the traditional vampire shtick. Alright, story start. We see Stas, lounging on his couch, mashing buttons on a video game controller, surrounded by tons of human world otaku merchandise, manga, figures, anime DVDs. He miserably fails at the game and complains about his honored ancestor acting noble and sucking blood, calling it a pain in the ass. This page hammers home Stas' core character. He's a powerful vampire who couldn't care less about vampire stuff and is completely obsessed with Japanese pop culture. Stas looks out his window at the sprawling, slightly grimy cityscape of the demon world. He continues his internal monologue, questioning why he'd ever want to go to the human world just for blood when he has everything he needs, or wants, right here. It further establishes his priorities and gives us a view of his environment. Stas complains about practicalities like sunlight being nasty and needing a passport, reinforcing his reluctance to leave the demon world. The phone rings. Stas answers, revealing his name. It's his subordinate, Dek. He's more concerned about the DVDs and figures Dek was supposed to acquire. Dek sheepishly admits they couldn't get them, but they found something else interesting. The reveal. Dek tells Stas they found a human girl who appears to be lost in their territory. We see her, Fuyumi Yanagi, though unnamed yet, looking understandably confused and intimidated, surrounded by Stas' rough-looking demon gang. This is a huge deal, humans are rare here. Dek explains the situation further. Being on someone else's turf means you're at their mercy, implying they could do whatever they want with her according to their rules. Stas, initially distracted by his otaku posters, hears "human girl" and his demeanor instantly changes. He orders Dek, "Bring her here. Now." His otaku heart is completely captivated by the idea of a real human. As Dek complies, Stas closes his phone. He explains the demon world structure. It's divided into territories, each run by a boss. And he, Stas, is one of those bosses. This confirms his status and power, despite his slacker attitude. He needs to talk the talk and walk the walk of a boss. The moment the call ends, Stas' cool boss persona evaporates. He's freaking out with excitement. I get to meet a human girl. He frantically tidies his room, throws away his lame knockoff demon world items, worries about what to wear, what music to play, and what manga she likes. He wants to thank her for the PlayStation. It's pure otaku panic and utterly hilarious, showing how much human culture means to him. Stas' frantic preparations continue. He's even got a weird sushi-themed shirt and backpack ready. But before he's satisfied, Dek announces they're coming in. Stas shouts, "Wait, I'm not ready yet." The timing adds to the comedic chaos. Too late. Dek brings Fuyumi in. She's bound and gagged. Stas immediately puts on heart-shaped sunglasses, completely smitten. He instantly dismisses Dek and orders everyone out, wanting privacy with the human girl. His priorities are crystal clear. Stas slams the door, leaving a confused Fuyumi alone with him. He's experiencing intense emotions, feeling like he'll be sucked in by her eyes, a crushing feeling in his chest. He's clearly infatuated, possibly mixed with some vampiric instinct, but he doesn't understand it yet. Inside, Dek and the gang gossip about Stas' unusually flustered behavior. They wonder what he's going to do with the girl. Just then, a new character arrives, a shady-looking guy selling strange, large plants. Trouble is brewing. Dek confronts the plant seller, pointing out he needs the boss's permission to set up shop in their territory. The seller plays innocent, claiming he didn't know. This establishes more demon world rules about territory. The plant seller realizes he can't just sell his wares. When Dek says the boss, Stas, is busy, the seller decides he can't wait and needs to draw him out by force. He reveals his hostile intentions. The plants look menacing. Back in the room, Stas has ungagged Fuyumi and is trying to chat her up, awkwardly asking about video game sequels. Fuyumi is understandably confused but answers. Just as they're maybe connecting, Stas' phone rings again. It's the challenger. Stas tries to ignore it, prioritizing his talk with Fuyumi. Stas hilariously pretends the signal is bad and makes up a fake crisis. Yamada's gonna die? To get off the phone quickly. Fuyumi questions if it was important, but Stas dismisses it as just idiots, challengers trying to take his territory. He calls it a load of crap, showing his disdain for these power struggles. Fuyumi expresses her own disorientation, feeling like she's in a dream and not knowing how she got here. Seeing Stas dismiss the call, she innocently suggests he should go help his friends. Stas gets flustered again, just by her gaze. Stas is losing his composure. Fuyumi's gaze triggers something in him, he can't hide his true nature. His fangs become prominent, and a monstrous aura seems to emanate from him. He feels an overwhelming urge. He snaps. Stas grabs Fuyumi, startling her, and blurts out, "You're cute. I totally love you." The crushing feeling wasn't hunger, it was intense infatuation, expressed in the most direct, awkward way possible. Stas quickly clarifies, he doesn't want to hurt her, like biting her neck, he wants to protect her. Then, using the fake crisis as an excuse, "My cherished party members are in danger," he dramatically leaps out the window to confront the challenger. It's impulsive and over the top. Stas lands outside with a boom. He briefly questions his actions, why run off when drinking her blood would have been logical for a vampire? He reminds himself this isn't the human world. His subordinate Dek shouts "Boss," as Stas faces the waiting challenger. Stas confronts the plant seller, who has unleashed writhing, plant-based tendrils. The challenger identifies Stas, the vampire. Stas coolly confirms, "Yeah, that's me." The challenger mocks Stas, assuming he's a typical conceited vampire noble. Stas internally refutes this stereotype, he hates the capes and nobility, isn't supposed to drink human blood, by his own choice, and doesn't have bat wings or fly, despite jumping out a window. Dek warns him about the dangerous plants. The challenger attacks, sending the plants to shred Stas. Stas simply walks straight through the attack, getting torn up but seemingly unfazed. The challenger laughs, thinking Stas is an idiot for just walking into it. But the attacks have no real effect. Stas stands amidst the destroyed plants, declaring traditional vampire weaknesses like garlic and crosses don't scare him. The challenger is stunned, asking, "How?" Stas delivers his philosophy, "Because I might be a vampire, but first and foremost, I'm me." He unleashes his true power, a telekinetic force that targets the challenger's heart, crushing it from a distance. This isn't typical vampire stuff, it's his power. A dramatic splash page showing the challenger being violently obliterated by Stas' power. A decisive, brutal victory. Stas' gang cheers. Dek is impressed but asks if Stas really needed to be so brutal. Stas casually confirms he showed off his power. Dek then asks the important question, "Did Stas drink the human's blood?" Stas replies, "I haven't." Stas rushes back towards his room, checking that the door is still locked, Fuyumi must still be inside. He tells Dek his interest in her is personal, not just predatory vampirism. He opens the door, saying, "I'm back." Tragedy. Stas enters to find the room empty, except for a skull and scattered bones on the floor. One of the monster plants is there, having apparently climbed in through the window Fuyumi opened earlier. It seems to spit out the bones. Fuyumi is gone. Pure horror and shock on Stas' face. He screams. We see Fuyumi's clothes dissolving around the bones. The saying, "They say you don't know what you've got till it's gone," flashes through his mind. He's devastated. The twist. Fuyumi reappears, sitting on the bed, but she's translucent and completely naked. Kya. How could I? She's confused about suddenly being naked and what happened. Stas and Dek are equally stunned. Fuyumi asks for clothes. Dek theorizes the plant only ate her clothes, which is clearly wrong. Stas, however, notices something crucial. "I don't feel attracted to you at all now." Her transformation has changed his perception, or perhaps his specific, human girl, fixation. Dek explains the demon world rule. When humans die here, their spirit takes physical form as a ghost, often marked by a triangle headpiece, though hers isn't obvious yet. Stas holds Fuyumi's skull, realizing she's dead. He despairs for a moment, "I'll never be able to meet that human girl of flesh and blood again," but then rallies, it's too soon to give up. With her bones, body, and spirit, ghost, maybe he can fix this. Stas makes his decision. Looking determinedly at Fuyumi, now wrapped in a sheet, and holding her skull, he declares, "No matter what it takes, I'll bring her back to life." He makes a blood oath, "The first human blood I taste will be yours." This vow sets up the central plot of the series, Stas' quest to resurrect Fuyumi. Fuyumi looks bewildered. To be continued.